Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good week. It is Social Responsibility Week and we are so excited. Thank you so much, Sam EM33, for joining. This is a week focused on free online events, focused on the core objective of social responsibility. And this is presented by Leap Texas, and I will explain what Leap is in a couple of moments. But if you can please at this time swipe to the right if you are on an Apple device to invite your followers, and also swipe from the bottom to the top if you are on an Apple, or excuse me, if you're on an Android device. But we are very excited to have you join us today, and my goal, and I'm just going to tell you guys, my goal is to have at least 25 people in here viewing from the web as well as from Periscope. So I will introduce myself in a few moments, but so excited about social responsibility. So are you guys ready? If you're ready, give me some hearts. Give me some hearts. Just tap the screen if you are viewing from your Periscope app. All right, guys, here we go. Okay, hello everyone. How are you? Is everyone good? Okay, tell me where you're from, which university, or what is your role in higher education? Just type that on your screen. I see we have 8 people joining, 9 people joining, so it's so exciting, and I'm so excited that you joined me today. And so I will introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jennifer Edwards, and I am from Leap, Texas. Thank you, Ed Learning Lab, for joining. I'm from Leap, Texas, and I am a faculty fellow with Leap, Texas. And so we're so excited to have this week for you guys, and it also challenges us to think about neat ways that we can incorporate social responsibility in what we do. So Leap, Texas stands for Liberal Education and America's Promise, and it is so super important. Even looking at, oh, awesome, Dr. Tony Edwards from TSU. Could you please tell me where TSU is? Is it Texas Southern? Okay, so some neat things that we do in LEAP, and LEAP stands for Liberal Education and America's Promise. It's a great, awesome organization, and it's a way that we as faculty members can provide. Tarleton State, awesome, welcome to Tarleton State. It's a great way that we can offer support for faculty members who are interested in integrating, hopefully they are interested in integrating the core learning objectives from AAC&U, and it's amazing. It's an amazing organization. But this week is Social Responsibility Week, and I have, I will tell you, I have 26 tips for you to easily, when I mention easily, I'm talking about taking this tip, integrating it on your syllabus, or forming an assignment around it, but easy ways that you can incorporate social responsibility in your classroom. And so, are you guys ready? And I see we have 8 people joining. Let's see where you're joining from. Let's see. All right. So we have 8 viewers from the web. Awesome. Okay, here we go. So one of the first tips, well, before we begin, what is social responsibility? Can someone tell me? And I'll also bring Twitter up as well, so I can see what is happening on the hashtag. If you can use the hashtag, hashtag Leap Texas if you're joining in from the web, and I can see those at the same time. They'll just pop up on my screen. So excited. Okay, we have 10 people. Awesome. Okay. So social responsibility, as defined by AAC&U, is the definition is very good, and it's easy, super easy to understand. And let me tell you a little bit about AAC&U. I've known about AAC&U, goodness, for the past, well, since 2002. I worked at Sam Houston, actually in student life. And our VP for student life at that time wanted me to get involved with AAC&U. And so I decided to get involved and to read the newsletters. If you don't subscribe to the newsletters, please do so. It's an amazing organization. And the official name, thank you for the hearts for AAC&U. The organization is the Association of American Colleges and Universities. Amazing, amazing organization. Don't forget to use the hashtag. I see some tweets coming up. Okay, here we go. We're going to boogie regarding social responsibility, but AAC and U define social responsibility as, well, personal and social responsibility as the ability to recognize one's responsibilities to society, locally, nationally, and globally, and to develop a perspective on ethical and power relations both from across the globe and within individual societies. This requires developing competence in ethical, moral reasoning, and action. So not only the ethical nature, but also the moral nature and also the action-oriented nature, because it's one thing to know about social responsibility, but the other component is action-oriented. So it's focused on doing something about it. So that's what's really exciting. But I want you to get in the mindset of everything that's happening domestically within the US and also in an international context as well. So one thing that comes to mind for me is the Olympics. Oh my goodness. I've enjoyed watching the Olympics every single night, but it's been a neat experience for me as a faculty member because I'm able to integrate some of those concepts. Thank you, Coconut Kiki 34 for joining, but I'm able to integrate some of those concepts in my online class. And also my face-to-face class. So it's been a great way to incorporate social responsibility because not only are these athletes asked to interact in a ethical way, but also in a socially responsible way. So there's some things that they are able to do and some things that they are not able to do, and the decorum that they're required to uphold within the Olympic Village. So it's been very, very interesting to see that happening. So social responsibility, if you even look at the country of Brazil, the Olympics has to think about ways to have this big, large-scale event, but also to remain very socially responsible when it comes to the citizens of Brazil. So, or the country of Brazil. So it's very, very interesting. So social responsibility regarding the Olympics, regarding the upcoming election, this is the year for truly integrating social responsibility in your classrooms. Okay, and just remember, college is the time frame where students are growing and they're developing and they are becoming the people who will truly change and affect society. So in college, they learn how to think. And so it's a great way for you to introduce those critical thinking concepts, especially regarding social responsibility, and to have the students make their own decisions. So it's a great way to introduce how to think, not what to think. So it's a neat way of doing that. Okay, so the first thing is the syllabus. It would be neat, absolutely amazing, to provide a social responsibility theme for your students for the entire semester. So even if you're teaching a public health course or a communication course, especially in communication, or an English course, or even in chemistry or biology, having a social responsibility theme. Even in the STEM fields, it's super important to integrate the social responsibility theme in what you're doing, because if you think about the ethical piece, and if you think about, and most of our undergraduates also do, well, not most, but they should, they do integrate a undergraduate research experience in which they conduct interviews or collect information for surveys. And so to be socially responsible is to, number one, do that IRB training, but also the second piece is to know what you plan to do with the data that you collect. And so if you find something that you need to act on, then, talking with a professor and helping them know the socially responsible way of interacting or helping a student or student group. So it's just very interesting. So providing a social responsibility theme for your students for the entire semester. So maybe all of and I've done this before, even with I integrate sustainability in my class. And so the whole semester is dedicated to nothing but sustainability. This was great, especially with my introductory speech course, Foundations of Public Speech Communication, because you were able to, number one, do the intro speech and also the other speeches throughout the semester, and the persuasive speech and the other speeches throughout the semester with a common theme. So it was sustainability, and then at the end of the semester, the students hosted a conference and they they delivered their speeches within a public context. And so that was a great way to integrate sustainability in a course. But you could do the same for social responsibility as well. Even you can have a sustainability theme as well, because
sustainability is a part of social responsibility. Also, providing a social responsibility hashtag for the course. The students are going to experience many things throughout the semester. So, what a great way of identifying, number one, when a company is socially responsible and they have a marketing campaign focused on social responsibility, or whenever you see like maybe a governmental organization focused on social responsibility as well. Maybe they could tweak that information, or they could Instagram that information focused on social responsibility as well. It's a great way to really engage students in such an important way. So especially with social responsibility, that's something that they will not only use in college, but beyond college as well. Amazing experience for the students. And also thinking outside of the box, maybe right after you check attendance, because I know you're checking attendance, right? So right after you're checking attendance, maybe social responsibility conversations within the first 5 minutes of class. And so, and I've seen professors do this very well regarding newsworthy themes. And so they will, the first 5 minutes, they will say, okay, so what have you heard in the news, or even in conversations focused on social responsibility? So we have 5 minutes to do so. Let's set this timer. And so it's a great way to have social responsibility themed conversations about current events. Very interesting. And also, it's a great way for you to survey what's going on campus, and also what's going on in the minds of your students as well. Okay, any questions about the syllabus? I will jump ahead to inside of the classroom. So we've had 3 so far. Inside of the classroom, social responsibility assignments. You can have a paper or a speech, or even a hands-on experience for your students focused on some element of social responsibility. Maybe they're conducting a research study, but social responsibility assignments. Also, the speeches, the essays, anything in your classroom that you can focus on social responsibility, do it. And so, especially regarding, and I will bring this up, the American Democracy Project. Yay! It's an amazing, it's really, really a neat project, and it's a way that we can engage our students. And so with ADP, they will have things throughout the next few months focused on a democratic society. So with social responsibility, it's a way that you can infuse a public or a democratic mindset for your students as well, since we do live in a democratic society. So the ADP project, and looking at their, they really post a lot of neat things on their Twitter account as well. So ADP. Then in-class debates, oh my goodness, talk about critical thinking. This is a great way for the students to truly think outside of the box and to argue for or against a particular topic. So if it's environmental sustainability, then if we focused on water resources in a classroom, and I've seen this a lot. So, who owns water? And if you if you provide a dam for water to let this area flourish, you're not being socially responsible for those residents who live downstream, who are not going to get access to this water. So what is the socially responsible way for dealing with natural resources, or oil, or water, or some of the things that we experience every single day? So social responsibility in class debates. And you can have students who argued against something also to argue for the other side, because that will enable the students to get multiple perspectives focused on a particular topic, and therefore being more socially responsible, because it has broadened their horizons regarding that topic as well. So let's check out the hashtag to see what questions you guys have. Okay. If you have any questions, make sure you use the hashtag. And then this is neat. Okay, so let me tell you, we were very fortunate to go to California, one of the Californian institutions, and they basically had this great debate. It's at Chico State, this great debate. And so we were there in the springtime, where they had debates going from like 8 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. Amazing, amazing campus, awesome president, awesome people, truly investing in debate. And so it was a great way, number one, for civic engagement, but also for social responsibility as well, because they had this I will call it a social responsibility fair or civic engagement fair, but they had this fair set up outside, actually in the middle of downtown, and they had students everywhere, and there were tables, just like you would see a student organization fair, but there were tables everywhere. And on those tables, the student groups would host an interactive or an engaging experience for people who would walk by. So they had a game that you would play. Instead of with your dominant hand, you would play with maybe first your dominant hand and then your non-dominant hand. So that was very interesting to see, like, different ability levels regarding access. So there was another experience where and they did have the Democrats, the Republicans on campus, the Green Party. So they had like a lot of representation, but it was a great way to truly see how the students were embracing social responsibility. And they had pledge sheets that you could sign for the different tables. So it was a really, really neat experience. One of the most engaging experiences that I've ever seen regarding social responsibility and civic engagement. Also, crowdsourcing domestic and international solutions. So if you have a scenario for the students and let me jump back. Crowdsourcing. I want to make sure that everyone knows what crowdsourcing is. It's not crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is where you're asking for money. We're not doing that in class. What we're asking for ideas. So that's crowdsourcing. So basically, if you present your students with maybe a news article, and in that news article, they're talking about maybe some form of natural resources, or if they're talking about, shutting down the only hospital in a rural environment. And if the students had to think about, or are divided into groups of maybe 4 or 5, especially if you have a class of 25, they're divided in groups of 4 or 5, and they have to read the article. Number 1, you can tell they read it. Number 2, they actually have to digest the material because they're going to respond to it in a few moments. And then number 3, they get to think critically inside of their groups, to think about ways that each area will be impacted by this. So think about different groups that are present in your community, the people who live within the community who currently use the hospital, the people who live in the surrounding community within the county who currently use that hospital. So when a hospital is shutting down and you have no resources within a 60-mile area, what are the implications, both positive and negative? So I'm asking students to truly think outside of the box. And I'm using a rural solution because I'm located at a rural institution. And I'm from a rural environment in East Texas where this scenario has happened time and time again. So it's a great way to crowdsource ways of addressing problems. You could even use something from an international context. So say if a company produces a product and that product has an ingredient that has been proven to have an adverse effect on the people who use it. So I'm just making this up, not that it's actually happened, but what are the domestic implications? Within the United States, what are the implications of the company still releasing that product? Also, what are the international implications? Because when we export that product, is that the socially responsible thing for that company to do? Or what should they do instead of releasing that product? What should they do within advertising, within marketing, and also within releasing or producing that product, period? So thinking about ways to crowdsource ideas, number 1, for addressing it, and then number 2, for the company's actions as well. So interesting. Also, presenting a scenario or actual situations for students, and then they have to work together to either create companies or to create agencies to address that situation. So those are 2 ways that you can provide real world implications for your students as well. Let's check Twitter. I'm looking. Oh my goodness, guys. Let's see if there are any tweets whatsoever. All right. So check Twitter. I don't see any tweets yet. So just tag me or just put at DRGT Edwards if you really want me to see it. But I don't see any tweets yet. So make sure you are holding your questions or asking your questions if you have them right now. Okay. So the next piece is I'm truly thinking outside of the box with this. And we had a visitor to come to campus from UT, and he's in their psychology department. But it's really neat because he talked about a way that he was able to make sure the students were socially responsible for their peers. It's like, okay, I'm listening. So they had groups that they were assigned to within the first couple of days of class. And it was great because they were able to be accountable for their peers. So if their peers did not show up to class, then their peers would message that student when he, her, or they, he, she, or they were not present. And so it was great because they didn't get that angry email or seemingly angry email from the professor, but they did get a circle of care message from their peers. And so all of the peers would message that student. So I plan to integrate that into my fall course as well. That would be great for the face-to-face or even the online environment, because the students can ignore our emails, and I'll admit that. But if they get multiple messages from their peers, that's going to be amazing. So I can't wait to see what the impact will be. So that socially responsible way of messaging their peers. Also, the next thing is connecting with the counseling center for sessions that they can facilitate in your classroom. Yesterday, I was very pleased to attend our first year camp, our fourth first year camp for first year students. And so they had a session called My 5, Your 5, Our Responsibility. And so it was about sexual assault and being accountable for your peers whenever they are in social situations, usually occurring after 9. So in those situations, students can experience some negative occurrences. I'll just put it that way. And so they basically had their peers, or the students who were present in that session, write down the name of 5, and they were all female, but write down the name of 5 individuals who that are near and dear to them. And they exchanged those with other people. It was very anonymous, but they said within, the age group that is present in this workshop, 1 in 5 women will be sexually assaulted within their college career or their college-aged population. And so that was very alarming for some of the faculty members who were attending. Goodness gracious! But also that was alarming for the students as well, to know that 1 in 5 students female students will have been sexually assaulted within their college career. They also had a separate session for the young men, and then also they talked about the GLBTQ population. And so that was a very good. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for retweeting. But that was a very good way of addressing all populations. So it was a great way to have the Student Counseling Center come and tell that message. But it was a great way for the students to realize that, oh my goodness, I'm embarking on my college career, and I need to be responsible for my peers, even though I do not know their names. They are not in my class, but what are some ways that they are, and they practice this, what are some ways that they can basically reach out to their peers to say, they developed code language in this workshop, and they basically said, let's go check on this paper that we wrote in class. And if that person was inebriated with alcohol, then they could accompany that other young lady to basically ask them if they were okay, or if they were in a good situation or a negative situation. So it was a great way to integrate with the Student Counseling Center. But think beyond the Student Counseling Center on your campus, and think about different people who could come, even from different other disciplines, who can come facilitate a session within your class. Think beyond those usual suspects on campus, and think how people can go into your classroom, and also how they can facilitate sessions on social responsibility from a perspective that's not just your perspective. So, we have to think beyond that, guys. It's our class, but also to invite others within the confounds of our classroom to truly change the way that students are able to think about certain subjects. Not what they think, but the way that they can think about certain things. Okay. The other piece is solving campus problems with social responsibility-based solutions. So it's a great way to reach out to the Student Government Association and to say, I need some help. So what are your main or primary concerns that you plan to focus on within the 2016-2017 academic year? And so to get a list of those problems and to develop a crowdsourcing approach focused on social responsibility solutions. So are there things that your students can do to provide a better academic or student experience at your institution. And if you see that there are various campus problems, potentially the students can contact maybe the person who's responsible for retention on campus to make sure that they know about those solutions as well, and also those problems as well. And I've done that before. It was a really neat project for my first year students. I love teaching first year seminar. Also outside of the classroom, global service learning. Oh my goodness. Global service learning is basically where you travel with a group of students outside of the country, and you are able to volunteer in and I will say usually a developing nation, or a nation that might need a little bit of help. And every nation, does have, every country has needs. Even the U.S., every country has needs. But you can do a global service learning or domestic service learning, study away, and that's what it's called. But basically, you can have the students volunteer in that country. And we traveled to the Dominican Republic. It was incredible. And it was life-changing for even the faculty members, because they were able to, for more live viewers to reach your goal. Yay! Thank you at Learning Lab. But it was a great way to truly see how other people live their everyday lives, but also to see how we can impact that. So we planted trees. I told you I was interested in environmental sustainability. We planted trees. We had conversations with individuals who were living in the Harabacoa community. We even we made natural steps leading down to a natural, well, basically it's a national park, but to a natural stream. So to make it safe for the residents who live within that community. We constructed benches for recreational uses for the people in that community. So it was very, very interesting. But I mean, as you can see, that was like almost 4 years ago. And I remember almost every day what happened. The students remember every day what happened. So we traveled with 28 students to the Dominican Republic, but great ways for you to truly engage students, and also to help students talk about equity, but to help students who would not normally travel outside of the country to do so, because usually those experiences are less expensive. So that's a good thing. Then virtual conversations with the outside groups. So that could be a group that's located in another state or even another country, but it's a great way for you to truly explore an issue and to have that dialogue between a group that's not just within your classroom, but to have your classroom group and maybe having the webcam in your group, and you would show the students who were open to that, to being shown on camera, to another group, another university. I did this with one of my colleagues from Southern University. We did a virtual exchange, but basically they would talk about their struggles, and we would talk about our struggles regarding an issue, and so they would come up with a solution. And then field trips within your city. There are a lot of things that happen within your city, so it's a great way to get students to think outside of the box. We have, like, even in Stephenville, Texas, we have an animal shelter. We have our Hope Food Pantry. We have really neat things that students can become involved in, but they don't know about it. So it's a great way to have a quick perspective, but they can volunteer with them later. Then, speaking of volunteering, we have volunteering and service learning experiences. And so many professors embrace this, but also there's some easy ways that you can integrate service learning experiences within your classroom. Your entire class can volunteer with one agency. Your entire class can work in groups to volunteer with certain agencies as well. But it's a great way, it's an amazing way to involve your students within the community. Also, basically mingle within your community, whether it's a rural environment or city-based environment. Just let your agencies know that you are truly interested. Let's see, I have a question, that you are truly interested in helping out, and they will add you to their listserv to let you know about certain things that are happening. Okay, so we have a question. It's from Lorraine. Yay! So we have, how do you ask students to demonstrate their own cultural worldview as well as others? So regarding, their own worldview first. Basically, and their worldview will change and shift throughout the semester. I'll just put it that way, regarding what's happening. So if there is a certain situation that's happening within the United States, we will explore that particular situation. So we will state the facts, but also they will, and an easy way to do that, they will state the facts, but also they will state their opinions about it as well. And it's good to get them outside of their box and sometimes outside of their comfort zone to explore those different elements of their worldview. But one thing that's worked really well within my classroom is to do it's not crossing the line, but you basically have, and I purchase masking tape or painter's tape. I draw a line in the center of the classroom, and so I'll read a question out loud regarding that current event. And so the students will all stand in the middle, all in that neutral territory. But then if they agree, if I read that scenario, and if they agree with that scenario, they will go all the way to the right, or to my right. And then if they disagree, they will go all the way to the left, to my left. And if they fall anywhere along that continuum, then they will be between neutral and disagree, or neutral and agree. And then I will invite students who would like to dialogue to do so with the entire group. And so that's a way that they can not only explore their own worldview regarding that particular subject, but also the worldview of others as well. And it's very interesting to see where your classmates stand regarding certain topics. So, and that's something that they will use after graduating from college, so college and beyond. Also, at the beginning of the semester, a faculty member could do a worldview, not really assessment, but a worldview note card. So the students could write their name on the top, and the students would basically know that this will only belong to the professor. But basically to state their view of three particular topics. And then at the end of the semester, the same or a similar note card would be distributed to the students, and then they would type, or they would write their worldview regarding those particular subjects as well. So it's a great way to figure out where the students were, or what the students were thinking at the beginning of the semester, and then at the end of the semester they are able to figure out, or you are able to determine, did something change? Is it the same? Are they getting deeper? Or is it just still surface based worldview? So very, very interesting. But the worldview will definitely change but the worldview will change per topic. So you can have a certain worldview on a domestic topic, and then you can have another worldview regarding another topic. So it's very, and it fluctuates depending on what's happening nationwide or internationally as well. Okay, so that's retention. So I will stop for a second. I have some more, but what questions do you have? And Lorraine, please let me know if I addressed your question to your satisfaction. I just want to make sure that that it makes sense. Then, okay, so while you are thinking and typing, I have a few other comments as well. A student government sponsored debate is a great way to integrate your class in a college conversation or a university conversation. So that's very, very interesting, especially the student government sponsored debates. And if they're not sponsoring a debate, this would be a great opportunity for them to sponsor a debate on their campus about an issue regarding student concerns of some sort, whether it includes concerns on campus or concerns from a national or an international context. And of course, debates have rules, but it's a great way. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Lorraine. I just wanted to make sure that made sense. But also, it's a great way for you to, as a faculty member, whether you have tenure or not, it's a great way for you to become involved outside of your own college circle. But student government association sponsored debates, and if they don't have one, this could potentially be a great conversation for you. The second thing is, yay, we have 25 viewers. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Also, something that the students did this summer as part of an undergraduate research experience, they weighed the weight of plates in the cafeteria or in the dining hall. And so it was very interesting, but the students, after their fellow students had their lunch, they would go to the area in the dining hall where you would deposit your tray and your cups, and they basically had a scale. These undergraduate researchers had a scale, and they would weigh the weight that was wasted on that plate at the end of that dining hall meal. That caused people to think about food waste. That caused me to think about food waste. And our cafeteria, long story short, our cafeteria basically did away with the trays that we used to have that were very nice. And basically, you have to take everything. You have to have your cup and your plate in your hand because you don't have room for anything else whenever you're gathering materials for your lunch. So that was one way that they attempted to, or that they did, eliminate some food waste. But also the way the weights campaign was interesting as well. So it was a neat way for students to realize how much they're wasting. Now let's circle back to social responsibility. If we think about food needs in this country, that would be a great conversation for your class. So reducing the amount of food that is wasted or would potentially provide other food resources for individuals within the community. So maybe it's a conversation with the dining hall to donate potentially any leftover food or food around Thanksgiving that's not going to be utilized within that time period to a local food pantry. Interesting. But it would be a great way for your students to crowdsource, to brainstorm ways of addressing problems on campus and in the community. Think about it. Also, an on-campus food pantry. Tarleton, oh my goodness, we are in the we've just finished our first year of our Tarleton Food Pantry. And if you're interested, just check it out. It's just go on Google and go to the Tarleton Food, or just put in the search blank, Tarleton Food Pantry. But it's been an amazing way for the students to realize the needs of their fellow students on campus. And also for the faculty and staff to realize the needs of their students and also their fellow staff members and faculty members on campus who have food insecurity, who experience food insecurity on a daily basis. So I changed the way that I think about student health and also student needs regarding food insecurity or food security. So that's been great. And if your campus has a food pantry, I would strongly urge you to have a conversation with them to see if someone from the food pantry can come talk to your class about their needs and what they need and specific items that they need. I will have to tell you, and I'll just spend a couple of seconds telling you, but I thought that food pantries just basically needed anything that they were able to receive. But that's not the case. They need pull tabs for cans. So cans that have pull tabs or more are needed more than cans without pull tabs because students commonly do not have a can opener. They also need complete meals. Those Hormel packs. Complete meals are one of the most sought after items. And then also figuring out the needs of breakfast needs for students. So that was very interesting because I thought, you would find those huge boxes of cereal on sale, but that wasn't the case for our college students. Our college students commonly live in apartments and also in residence halls. And so number one, they commonly are, if they have a bowl, they would have to get a bowl and a spoon to eat the cereal. But also we discovered that students wanted to have those little packs of cereal or those little cereal bowls that you would just peel off the top and consume the cereal rather than an entire box of cereal. So that was very interesting. And also we did a shop model this summer, and the students did not want, they didn't want, if they had a limit of 10 items that they could obtain or pull from the food pantry, they did not want snack items. They didn't want candy. We don't have candy upstairs, but they didn't want the crackers in a pack or like cheese or peanut butter crackers, but they wanted more items that could sustain them a long time period within a week. So it was very eye-opening. Very eye-opening. So having a conversation with the food pantry would be a great way for your class to demonstrate social responsibility within a peer-based environment as well. Okay, so voting, yes, it's coming up very soon, and voting and figuring out what your departments on campus are doing with voting and also potentially with American Democracy Project. And so voting is important, yes, and so determining how your students can get involved with promoting voting, a voting mindset on campus. And then Okay, so we think about assessment, and then I'll show you the value rubric in a couple of moments. But peer assessment would be interesting, especially regarding the essays and the debate and the speeches, to produce a worksheet for your students within your classroom to provide peer assessment or peer evaluation of their fellow students' work. Also, regarding social responsibility. Also, community involvement. I've invited the community to speeches before, and I would have a panel of community members, and they would serve as multi-raters for raters, yes, R-A-T-E-R-S, multi-raters for the student presentations. And it was a great way for the community members to become involved on campus. And usually they're like, do you really want me? You know, I don't have a doctorate. I'm like, yeah, I want you, because you have a perspective that we cannot give, and you are a leader in the community. And so it's a great way to ask faculty, or for faculty members to ask community members to come on campus and to become involved with what the students are doing within your classroom. And also inviting faculty members from and their classes to see your class presentations. What a great way to inspire a spark for social responsibility regarding the faculty members that are in your department and beyond, and other departments, and their entire classes to see your class presentation. And also it produces a ready audience for your class members or your students as well. One thing that I did not have on the list that I just thought about is to have maybe it's a crowdsourced approach for addressing a problem. So if you have your 4 or 5 groups in your class and you ask them to come up with a solution or a socially responsible solution for a problem that you present the students, then you could potentially produce a poll either in Google and Qualtrics or in Google Forms, but you could produce a poll of those 5 solutions and maybe a description of each. And then everyone from around your department and beyond and other departments will be able to vote on which solution they think would be best for addressing that problem. It could work. Okay. Any questions before we go to the value rubric? Yay, value rubric. Okay, and let me check Twitter to see. Okay, no more questions from Lorraine. I'm looking. Lead Texas, no. And don't forget, you can type questions on here as well. Okay, so let me tell you, value rubrics have truly changed my life. Looking at the value, I always struggled because I always produced my own rubrics, but I struggled with anything that was not, that was assessment and not like speech related. You know, I can make a speech rubric in my sleep, but regarding something that focused on service learning or assessment of of student reflections, that was a daunting task for me. And then I discovered value rubrics. Amazing. So let me show you. Oh, and before I show this to you, we're actually, and I serve as the Assistant Vice President for Student Success and Multicultural Initiatives at Tarleton, and all of our directors are and executive director, they're integrating the value rubrics, 2 value rubrics in their assessment on Weave, which is our university assessment system. So it is amazing, and so they're taking one of the lines from the value rubric that applies to their particular office or their particular offering, and they are using that for program-based assessment that's not academic program assessment. So that's exciting, especially our diversity office and academic advising, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's look at this. Any questions before I show you my screen? No, I'm looking on. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, so this is let's see if I can zoom in. Okay, so this is the value rubric that's focused on global learning. And so one of the items on the second sheet, and this is from AAC&U, is personal and social responsibility. I do have to tell you that these rubrics are adaptable for the context or for your particular course, but this is a great way for you to utilize something that already exists. As faculty members, it's hard at this time of the year to come up with something brand new, but this is something that you can use to integrate in your course. So this is the personal and social responsibility, and this is what it looks like at the top. This is the Global Learning Value Rubric, and it has the definition. So if your students have questions about social responsibility or your colleagues or global learning, that is there as well. And so I'm scrolling, and I know it's a lot of text, just bear with me, but there are different elements of this rubric. So we have global self-awareness, we have perspective taking, we have cultural diversity, we have personal and social responsibility, and that is the one that we will look at in a couple of moments. And then we have understanding global systems, applying knowledge to contemporary global context. So this is my favorite rubric. Okay, so we have personal and social responsibility. And the neat thing is, let's see if I can make this lighter. Yay. So the neat thing is it provides context for you and also your classroom. So at the top it says capstone. So that is the highest level that a student can achieve. And then it has milestones, which is here. And then it has benchmark. So since we are looking at social responsibility, that is the one that is here. And for capstones, well, actually, let's start at the very end. Let's start at the benchmark piece. And it says, let's see. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we are. Identifies basic ethical dimensions of some local national decisions that have global impact. So remember those assignment examples that I basically contributed a couple of moments ago regarding even regarding the Olympics. This would be a great thing to utilize, and the ethical dimensions regarding the Olympics or something in addition, or even potentially water resources, etc., or emissions that have global impact. Then we have explains the ethical, social, and environmental consequences of local and national decisions on global systems. So especially regarding the election, we will see a wealth of ethical, social, and environmental consequences or environmental issues, and students can brainstorm consequences of those local and national decisions. Then the next one is analyzes the ethical, social, and environmental consequences of global systems and identifies a range of actions informed by one's sense of personal and civic responsibility. So this is more focused on knowing about the different issues and being able to identify and explain. But then we get further into Bloom's, love Bloom's taxonomy, and it goes into the analyze piece. And so when you analyze, you're able to actually work toward the action piece. So this is figuring out their own personal or civic responsibility. And then the highest level for the students is the capstone. And this takes informed and responsible action to address ethical, social, and environmental challenges in global systems and evaluates the local and broader consequences of individual and collective interventions. That is truly thinking outside of the box. And then this is these personal and social responsibility as well. So this would be something that you would share with your students. And also this is something that you could utilize to assess how students are performing in their reflections, or if they're able to truly take informed and responsible action, and to know the implications of those actions regarding ethical, social, and environmental challenges in global systems. So very interesting. So as you can clearly see, I love the value rubrics. It's amazing. And you can even take one snippet of the value rubrics and utilize that as an assessment piece. And it's good if you're just looking at like one segment. So like personal and social responsibility. It's a great way. And there are, Lorraine, let me know, there are 14 different value rubrics. And so it's great. And also if you're in Texas, then this aligns very well. I have an alignment table, and this aligns very well with the core learning objectives from the state of Texas or from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. So it's amazing. And also I align those with my university system, which is the Texas A&M University system. So our learning outcomes, the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board outcomes, and then the outcomes of AAC&U align very, very well. Okay, so there we go. And we have 20 people in here. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Let me check Twitter one more time to see if you guys have any questions whatsoever. Let's see. Leap Texas. No. Okay. So and we have 28 people in here. Oh my goodness. So let me know what questions you have. One thing I will say while you're typing your questions, either on Twitter, you can submit those on the hashtag LEAP, LEAPTEXAS hashtag. But one thing I will say that's super important is for you to establish ground rules for your students whenever they are talking about or working in groups or anything regarding social responsibility. It can be a very interesting assignment for your students. And so letting them know that you care and that you are focused on providing a context of care or environment of care within the confounds of your classroom. So that's very important for you to establish that for the students and to say what you will allow and what you will not allow regarding respect for different opinions. And do you guys have any questions whatsoever? Oh my goodness, we've almost been talking for 1 hour. And if you didn't catch any aspect of this presentation, then just please email me or watch the replay of this particular presentation, and I would love to answer any questions that you have. I love being a Texas LEAP Fellow. It's been the most amazing experience. And I'll just tell you, I told a faculty member yesterday that this experience has really caused me to think critically about everything that I do in higher education. This experience has been one of the most life-altering experiences that I've had, and I've been a Texas LEAP Fellow for 1 year. But we are, especially when you're on the tenure track, when you're writing, you are basically told that this will work or this will not work, but LEAP has enabled me as a faculty member to truly think outside of the box when it comes to different ways that I engage students and also different ways that I encourage students to have that civil discourse. And so it's been a great experience. And we have a comment from Lorraine. I love the value rubrics too. Yes, they are great. Awesome. But if you have any questions about LEAP, let me make sure that you know to follow LEAP Texas is LEAPTEXAS on Twitter. And also, thanks for the screenshot. And then also make sure that you let us know if you have any questions. And we have some items going on throughout the week, and I will show those to you as well. But it's really neat. This entire week is focused on social responsibility. Before I talk to you about the other items that are happening this week, I will invite all of you to submit a teaching recipe for our cookbook. And so we have 3 submissions so far. My goal is to have 10 by Friday. But basically, those are easy things that faculty members can do to integrate their social responsibility in their class for the upcoming semester. So I challenge at least 4 of you or more to submit a rubric. To submit a recipe for the cookbook focused on social responsibility. And if you need that link, just please check out at LEAPTEXAS, and you can get the link to submit your teaching recipe. Basically, you'll see, if you see a bowl with some raspberries in it, you're in the right place on the LEAP Texas profile. But let me tell you the rest about some more about I'm looking on my computer. Oh my goodness. Some more about as I just submitted my rubric. Yes, we have 5. I'm so excited. So thank you. This is, let's see if I can find it. It's on here. But basically, we've had things going on every day. On Monday, we talked about on Monday, we talked about social responsibility, and we had some presenters from Angelo State, which is awesome. Then On Tuesday, we had the teaching recipes, and we had some submissions from across the state. I would love to see some more community college submissions as well. And then today was our Periscope, which I think went very well. We exceeded my expectations. Yay! And then let me turn the screen around so you can see what's happening.
Okay, so this is social responsibility recipes all day. And to find the link to submit that, just look on Twitter on LEAPTEXAS. And then this was today. Tune into the 30 ways to integrate social responsibility in your fall courses. But basically, the entire objective of this week is to help faculty members integrate social responsibility within their syllabi and upcoming courses with ease. So things that you don't necessarily have to work hard to integrate. And then tomorrow we'll focus on teaching social responsibility in college courses. We'll have a Twitter chat at noon. So go to Subway or some sandwich shop or even on campus to grab your lunch. Come back in front of your computer or your phone, and you can use the hashtag LeapTexas, which is right here, to participate at noon Central Daylight Time. And so it has instructions for you here. And this is on the Leap Texas site. And if you have any trouble finding this, just let me know. And then Friday is Reflection Friday. So that is your time for using the hashtag on Twitter or even on Instagram to reflect about the week. And also we will answer any questions that you have about social responsibility as well. And anything that you've experienced or heard this week,
Out more information that you have about it or any questions that you have. But that's it. And we have 29 people. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much. Please use the hashtag LEAPTEXAS, and I will see you soon. I'll see you in the Twitter chat tomorrow at noon. Bye.